What's going on, Wrestle Scope family? And stop what you're doing right now, because what I'm about to reveal is going to shake the foundation of everything you thought you knew about Monday Night Raw. The backstage politics have reached a boiling point, and Sami Zayn just made a move so calculated, so controversial, that WWE management is reportedly in complete chaos right now. I'm talking about secret meetings. I'm talking about broken alliances. I'm talking about a 5-man army that was assembled in the shadows while we were all distracted by what was happening in front of the cameras. Hello, viewers. If you're new here, please don't forget to like and hit the subscribe button for daily updates on WWE Raw. And here's what's going to make your blood boil. WWE reportedly tried to bury this story. They didn't want you to know about this, but the truth always finds a way out. So buckle up, because by the end of this video, you're going to see Monday Night Raw in a completely different light, and you're going to understand why Sami Zayn might have just started the most dangerous war in WWE history. Let me hit you with the facts that WWE doesn't want trending on social media right now. Sources close to the situation have confirmed that Sami Zayn held an unauthorized backstage meeting 3 weeks ago. Not in a locker room, not in catering, but in a parking garage outside the arena, away from cameras, away from management, away from anyone who could report back to the brass. And you want to know the most infuriating part? WWE knew about it. They knew Sami was organizing this resistance, and they did nothing to stop it, because stopping it would mean admitting that MFT has become exactly what the critics have been saying for months. MFT, and I don't care who gets upset about this, has been handed everything on a silver platter since day one. While homegrown talent like Sami Zayn clawed and scratched for years to get a fraction of the spotlight, MFT walks in with guaranteed title shots, main event positioning, and protection from the top down. Think about it. When was the last time you saw MFT take a clean loss? When was the last time they faced any real consequences for their actions? I'll wait. The double standard is disgusting, and Sami Zayn finally said enough is enough. But here's where it gets really interesting, and this is what WWE is absolutely terrified about. Sami didn't just recruit anybody for this fight. He went after the most disgruntled, most overlooked, most dangerous superstars on the roster. Guys who have been sitting in catering while less talented wrestlers get pushed to the moon. Guys who have legitimate grievances with how this company operates. And when I reveal who these 5 men are, you're going to understand why Triple H reportedly had an emergency meeting with creative immediately after finding out. This isn't just about MFT anymore. This is about a revolution brewing in WWE, and Sami Zayn just lit the match that could burn the entire system down. But before I expose every single detail of this alliance, I need you to do something for me right now, and this is critical for the algorithm and for getting this truth out there where WWE can't suppress it anymore. Smash that like button right now. Not later, not after the video, now. Because every like tells YouTube that this story needs to be seen, that we won't be silenced, that we demand transparency from WWE. And listen, if you're as fired up as I am about this blatant favoritism and corporate manipulation, drop a comment right now telling me if you stand with Sami Zayn's alliance, or if you think this is going to blow up in his face. WWE monitors these comments, trust me. They need to see that the WWE universe is paying attention, and we're not going to accept this corporate favoritism anymore. All right, let's break down exactly what's happening behind the curtain, the backstory. To understand why Sami Zayn made this unprecedented move, we need to go back 3 months and connect the dots that WWE hoped you wouldn't notice. It started at a random house show in Columbus, Ohio. Nothing special on the card, just another non-televised event that most people forget about the next day. But backstage, something significant happened that nobody reported on until now. MFT was given the main event slot over a scheduled match between Sami Zayn and Chad Gable that was advertised for weeks. Fans paid good money expecting to see that match, and at the last minute, creative scrapped it and gave those precious minutes to MFT. Sami was livid. Multiple sources confirmed he went straight to the producer's truck and demanded an explanation. And you know what he was told? It's what's best for business. Best for business. The same phrase they used to justify every single corporate decision that screwed over the talent that built this company. That was strike one. Strike two came 2 weeks later when Sami pitched a storyline that would have elevated not just himself, but 4 other mid-card talents into a meaningful faction that could have rivaled the Bloodline's legacy. He presented a complete creative package, promos written out, match sequences planned, merchandise concepts ready to go. The pitch was rejected within 24 hours. No explanation, no feedback, just a flat no. But here's the kicker. 3 days later, MFT was given a new faction member, more television time, and a guaranteed path to the tag team championships. You seeing the pattern here? Strike 3 was the final insult that made Sami realize he couldn't work within the system anymore. At a creative meeting specifically about WrestleMania season planning, Sami's name wasn't even on the board for any significant program. 20 years of dedication to this company, main eventing WrestleMania, being one of the most beloved superstars on the entire roster, and he wasn't even in the WrestleMania conversation because all the spotlight was being funneled to the same people over and over again. That's when Sami Zayn realized something that every smart wrestler eventually figures out. If you want change in WWE, you don't ask permission, you force their hand. And that's exactly what he started planning. The alliance formation. Now we get to the part that's going to have everyone talking for weeks. Sami's first recruit was absolutely genius, and it's someone who's been publicly vocal about his frustrations with creative, Chad Gable. Think about this logically. Chad Gable is arguably one of the top 5 pure wrestlers in the entire company. Olympic caliber athlete, can cut a promo, can work any style, has charisma for days. And what has WWE done with him? Made him a comedy character, wasted his prime years in meaningless segments. Gable was the easiest person to recruit because he's been saying in interviews for months that he's frustrated with his positioning. He didn't even need convincing. When Sami approached him with the plan, Gable reportedly said, "I'm in. What took you so long?" The second recruit sent shockwaves through the locker room when people found out. Ricochet. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Ricochet is AEW bound. Everyone knows that. Why would he join this alliance? And that's exactly why this is brilliant. Ricochet has nothing to lose. He's not getting re-signed anyway, so why not go out on his terms? Why not finally get the spotlight he deserved for years? Why not expose the system that held him back from becoming the megastar he should have been? Sources say Ricochet's only condition was that he gets to face MFT's leader one-on-one with no interference. He wants to prove once and for all that when it's a fair fight with no politics involved, he's the better athlete. And Sami agreed. The third member of this alliance is where things get really interesting, because this is someone who hasn't been on television in months. Shinsuke Nakamura. The disrespect shown to Nakamura over the past 2 years is criminal. This is a former IWGP heavyweight champion, one of the biggest stars in Japanese history, and WWE has reduced him to sporadic appearances with no direction. But don't think for a second that Nakamura has lost a step. Word from people who train with him is that he's in the best shape of his WWE career, and he's been waiting for an opportunity like this. Nakamura brings something this alliance desperately needs: unpredictability. You never know what Nakamura is going to do in that ring, and that chaos factor is perfect for taking on a group as calculated as MFT. The fourth member of this alliance is going to divide this fan base right down the middle: Baron Corbin. I can already hear some of you typing angry comments. Baron Corbin, really? But hear me out on this. Corbin is one of the most misused talents in WWE history. Every single time he gets momentum, Creative kills it with a terrible gimmick change or a losing streak. He's been a lone wolf, a king, a bum, a happy guy, and none of it led anywhere. But what Corbin brings to this team is size and aggression. MFT has been bullying smaller wrestlers for months. Well, guess what? Corbin matches up with them physically, and he has a legitimate chip on his shoulder. Plus, and this is the strategic part, Corbin has relationships with people in management that the others don't. He can get information, he can predict how the office will respond, he's the inside man. And now we get to the fifth and final member of this alliance, and I promise you, when I say this name, you're going to lose your minds. The fifth member is Apollo Crews. What? Apollo Crews? He's been on Main Event for